Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Momentum Chat. I am Majida Bay.
And I am John Epstein.
Welcome to another great evening. Man, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take the fall for this one because I totally missed the alphabet. I don't know what I was thinking. This is what happens when you multitask. You really don't get more done. You end up messing up stuff. So anyway, it's week 18 and we are talking about responsibility and resources.
Absolutely.
So tell a friend, like this, share it, get a notepad and a pen, and we'll get you started in just a moment.
All right.
Good evening once again. I am Majida Bay, your financial conductor, and joined as always by my mentor, friend, coach, Mr. John Epting Jr., life and financial strategist. And today we are continuing our ABCs of Wealth series. This is week 18. And today is responsibility and resources. But before we get into the topic, how are you doing today, John? How was your birthday? Let the people know how your birthday was.
Hey, I'm still here. So obviously my birthday was pretty good.
Hey, not a bad.
Nah, it was a great time. I kept it quiet this year. My wife was trying to do a party and even I had let it come across my mind too, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling a party. I didn't feel a party. Some people say 2020 was a tough year. I've had some challenges in 2021, whether it been my health, I contracted COVID. None of those things that, that COVID wasn't bad for me. Headache, some congestion, as you know. But other than that, it wasn't that bad. But, my back issues has been plaguing me. So I just wanted to keep it quiet. Didn't even have as many people who was close to me, like not even you weren't there, right? But it was kind of a last minute thing. My mom flew in town. So as far as I'm concerned, the biggest thing that happened for my birthday is my mom flew in and she spent a week with me. We were able to coerce her for a week to stay out and hang out with us for a week, and it was a great time. Just taking her to the airport was actually kind of hard. It was, but my mom is just this incredible lady. I was raised by two incredible people who taught me a lot, and so even my dad, I was able to, send some messages to him as well. We didn't get a chance to talk. I kept missing his call, but man, I was raised by two incredible people, and to be their oldest, is a privilege to break 50 years old, and happy where I am in my life, but definitely not finished. So my mom and I talk a lot about the fact that I'm not finished and she's not finished.
I love it. That is cool. That is so cool. Big 5-0.
Big 5-0. It was
fun.
We had a few people over, just two other couples, I think. Two other couples, my wife and I, my daughter and my mom. So that was fun, and I got to spend a really cool week with her, and she did get to meet some people who was close to me in my life, and got to have lunch with some people. She did meet some business people who I'm in association with. So she had a great time. It's really cool when your mom signs off on the people who are in your sphere of influence. She's like, "Man, you keep really good company." And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Well, I know you said that you were raised by two incredible people, but I'm sure they're proud of who you've become as well.
I hear it all the time, but I'm not satisfied with just hearing that. I want them. My mom can articulate why she's proud of me. She can articulate why she's proud of all 9 of her children. But I don't want to rest on that though.
Yeah.
I want to keep that moving. I want her to be more proud. I want to impact more people so that I believe this is just I think I can back up this belief, but we don't have time on here. I believe all good I do, all good, all impact, all that stuff that I do to help other people, it counts towards her in heaven.
Mm.
You know, same with my dad. All the good I do, all the impact, all the marriages saved, all the relationships mend, all the people who become successful but more so significant. All that I do and all that they do counts towards my parents uh, as far as their rewards in heaven. It's just what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I can back that up, but we don't have time to go through that. It's a whole lesson I got to do. But so I'm looking forward to doing more and helping more, and I'm not gonna lie, we get tired. I know you would agree. You get tired too.
Yeah, yeah.
And then some people don't appreciate all that you do. And it's funny. Some of the people who don't appreciate it have no idea what you did without them knowing.
Mm.
But I try not to focus on that. Don't get me wrong. I'm human. It affects me sometimes, but I try not to focus on that. I focus on continuing to do more and let the dust settle the way it does. So,
Well, as you often say, never get weary in well doing, because in due season you will reap a harvest.
listen, people, if you're listening in, be careful what you say around people, right? Because they will throw it back at you. Yes, I say that a lot. It's a scripture, right? But yes, I say it a lot. And as you know now, probably when you first heard me saying that, you probably didn't know. As you know now, a lot of times when I'm saying that, I'm not saying that to people. I'm saying it to myself. I'm reminding me, John, don't get weary in due season. John, keep going. John,
Yeah.
don't think like that. Keep going. And thank God I do remind myself of that. But now I have a bunch of people who remind me of it too.
And I'm reminding myself. True story, right? Last week I pulled an all-nighter. I literally did not sleep.
Wow.
For, I don't know. So I woke up, was it Tuesday morning at 5? So normal time I wake up, and I didn't sleep until sometime Wednesday night. Whatever it was
what?
Right. So I had to pull an all-nighter because I waited till the last minute to get something done, because I'm always on the go, and it's just it's this time of the month and I gotta always get this stuff done. And I'm and it was for my job. And so I said, if I could pull an all-nighter for myself, right, if I cannot get weary for the job, then I cannot get weary for me.
For somebody else.
Right. So for the last week now, just about every other night. I haven't been doing all-nighters every other night, but I'll stay up late, or I'll get up earlier. This morning I got up at 2:30 and I've been up since. But I went to bed maybe around 9 something last night. Slept till yeah. So but I'm energized and I'm excited, and I see the value in investing in the time, whether it's late nights or early mornings.
Nice.
So that was a lesson that I learned last week. Nice. And to tie into our topic for this week, responsibility and resources, right? Yeah. I said, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And so oftentimes, and this is, I think this speaks really to really the era that we're in, the economy that we're in, and what is going on right now in our society in terms of resources. We're having a lot of challenges with resources. And so can you speak to the idea right now of managing resources, the importance of really just managing your resources, and why it's important to manage little, not just wait till you have a lot?
Well, as you know, with me, this is a universal thing because I believe God owns it all. And I see God as a dad. He's a father, right? And actually, we call him Father. And in saying that, a father does not give resources to a child that's irresponsible with them, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, if my daughter doesn't take care of what I've already given her, why would I give her more? Right? And this is just something that was probably taught to me as a child, right? My mom used to always talk about, hey, we got to take care of what we've been blessed with. We got to take care of what we've been blessed with, right? And I understood that. I understood the reason for it. So even when I drove an old 1977 Oldsmobile Cutlass, I was still washing it. I was still making sure I took care of it. I still made sure if the little handle on the door to roll the window down broke, I went and got another one, right? And even though we had to, sometimes them things, little stupid things got stripped. So we had to like do some stuff to make it work. I still did those things. My home now, I try to make sure why would he bless me with my dream home if I don't take care of the home that he's already blessed me with? Well, the same thing with finances. Same thing with businesses. Same thing with the job. Why would God bless you? Why should anybody give you another opportunity? I'll remove God because some of you guys don't roll that way, but why would anybody give you another opportunity if you don't take care of the opportunity you're currently in? If you talk bad about your job, why would I hire you to be with my team? That doesn't make sense. Like because over a few months, then you're going to be disgruntled at my team. So, but if you, and I was always taught, you never talk bad about a team you're still a part of. Like that doesn't make sense. Like who's the fool here? Right. So while I was in the Navy, I never spoke negative. Well, I can't. It'd be wrong for me to say anything negative about the Navy anyway. Like, my career was so incredible, right? But let's act like I had some disgruntled stuff about the United States Navy. Why would I do that while I'm still a part of it? That means I'm part of the problem.
Yeah.
Right? And if I'm there, I should be trying to make it better in some way. And people who serve with me can tell you that's what I did. So that's what I mean. When I hear resources, that's what I mean. But one last one I want to say. Relationships. Many people don't see that as a resource. They don't see that God is my source, but my relationships are a resource. And do you take care of them? Do you cultivate them? Are you paying attention to them? Right? Are you looking to grow them? Right? Do you have, some of us just have friends and they're just friends, right? But you should be growing that relationship, helping it get stronger. And the part that in our world today, why most people don't have long, I have friendships that date back 30 years, all right, 31 years. And the reason that is because one, we cultivated, but two, we went through some tough times together. Mm-hmm. We went through some headbutting together sometimes. And we just in a culture today where most people, as soon as one of your friends don't agree with you or something, you cancel them, you cut them off. And I have to question them, were they really a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. If something so small, and normally, this is the thing I'm noticing, it's not normally anything internal between the two of you. It's because you don't agree with something external. And it's like, I would throw away a relationship because I don't agree with him on that.
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, right? He likes him and I don't. Like, we're never going to meet that guy, right? So why would we allow them to? But that's just the world we live in. Yeah,
that's pretty sad. I should have had relationships as art, but we've done network. So
no. I like what you have. I just use relationships as a resource because I just notice many people don't see them as resources. And for me, the most important things in my life, my relationship with God, my relationship with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really more important or more valuable resource than money. And I know you've spoken about this, right? People, what is it? When the value is right, the cost doesn't matter. Exactly. Right. And so I'm like you, right? The relationships that I have in my life, I value and I want to appreciate and invest in those relationships. Okay, I'll get you some tea in a little bit. All right. Go ahead, sister. No. Okay. Yes, in a little bit. Let me finish, all right? All right, go count to 10. Go count to 10. No, go out there, count to 10. She's counting to 10, right?
They just count faster. You're muted.
Sorry. I got an R word for you. Huh?
Okay.
Rhombus. This is what my 3-year-old asked me yesterday.
Okay.
to make. She said, "Can you make a rhombus?" Right. Spell rhombus at 3. I was, we're like riding in the car on the way home from gymnastics practice, and she's like, "Mommy, make a rhombus." There was this pop tube that her sister had. And this is like hollow tube that you like open and shut like an accordion, and it makes a sound. And she wanted me to, like, I made it into a circle. I made it into a heart. She's like, "Make a rhombus." Like, this is what we do.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then she asked me to make an octagon. Like, so shout out to Empower Academy, courtesy of Wanda Bay, my mother, her grandmother, for teaching my 3-year-old rhombus and octagon. And she can read now at 3 little sight word books. She's pretty proud of herself. Yeah, yeah. So she's being responsible with what, right? At 3, with what she has, the resources that she's had, right? But she's hungry to learn and hungry to, like, and it's crazy, like, when you think about a child and the infinite possibilities, right? Like the way that their mind works. Like, she wants, "Mommy," she says to me all the time, "Mommy, I help you," whether it's washing dishes or cooking or cleaning the tub. "Mommy, I help you." And I know probably with her sister, I was like, no, I got it. And now I can't get her to do nothing. But I was like, let me make that correction. So I let her help, even if she doesn't do it right.
Yes.
While she wants to help.
That's valuable. The fact that she wants to help is valuable. So
absolutely,
please embrace it.
I'm getting it right the second time around, because I struggle to get the 7-year-old to help clean up. I gotta like do it with her. You made the mess in your room. Wow, we got it. Clean it up.
Right.
But with the 3-year-old, she's like, "I help you." So when I can let her help wash dishes or whatever, right? She just wants to be involved. So
yeah,
I do that.
As you know, I have quite a few phrases I live by, kind of like you and Jim Rohn. And so one of them is conduct permitted is conduct taught.
Mm.
You've heard me say that probably 100 times. Conduct permitted is conduct taught. Any conduct that you allow, you now taught it, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, a lot of times we allow things to slide, and then we want to correct them later, and it's a lot harder to correct them.
Absolutely.
And this came from relationships mainly, right? But if you apply that in the rearing of our children, the concept is the same. Like, conduct permitted is conduct taught. If you allow your child to speak to you a certain way, allow your child to act a certain way, if you allow them to not help,
mm-hmm.
you now taught that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder to change it later, right?
It is.
Relationships, people try to. I can't tell you how many times my wife and I have heard people say, "Oh, so and so's done this, and they've been doing this for X number of years," and you're like, did it bother you the first time? Yeah. Why'd you say something then?
Mm-hmm.
And now you want them to change on a dime. Like, they've been doing it for 15 years. You told them Thursday that it pissed you off. And then they do it again Saturday. And, oh my God, you don't listen. They've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
Why did you think that was going to change on a dime? Give them some time now.
Yeah. No, that's good. And I read something about that recently, in about like conscious parenting, and how, especially in this society in the US, we often push children away from helping, whereas in cultures, they embrace it, right? We're too concerned about them doing it right versus letting them do it.
Yes.
And so, it definitely speaks to the topic today as well, about the resources that they have, right? Like, they can be responsible for keeping their room clean or keeping stuff off the floor, or, little things, and that habit can grow over time. And so they can learn how to manage, their allowance, or if they can learn how to manage the money that they get for their birthdays, save some, give some, and then you can spend some.
Yes.
Then that can develop into, they start earning their own income or start their own business. You save some, you give some, you spend some. So definitely makes sense, right? Like you said, conduct permitted is conduct taught. And I think for a lot of people, we've been permitted to not be responsible with our resources, right? We've seen that even with our government, right? Not responsible with their resources, not responsible with their finances or their budget, right? We're, in debt. So like that's the model that we have. And most people's mindset is that, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're just going to be in debt and the government's in debt. And there is another side of that. So can you share with people, how do you get on the other side to where you manage your resources well, to where what's going on right now in the economy doesn't impact you, doesn't throw you off course, right? Doesn't leave you out, devastated or financially distraught.
Yeah. Well, over time of you just being responsible with your resources, it comes a point in time when you have such a surplus, and then also I know it's going to sound really weird to some people, but when you have such a surplus and funds are invested appropriately, right? No matter what happens in the economy or the world, it really doesn't affect you. It's funny, right before I got on here, I had a client in the office. Couple's been with us for a little bit, but they're doing a lot better now. Things have changed. Some career things have changed a little bit. So, and then they're doing more, right? So they have more, I guess you would say, resources. So they're involved in a lot more things, and so they're looking to solidify their plan a little bit differently than how they started off, right? And one of the things I was talking to them about is the diversification of your plan, right? Of the resources that you have, not putting all it in, and also, for example, over the last year, people have gotten into the stock market, and unfortunately, when you get into a stock market over this last 12 months, or I'm going to even say for the last, like, not even 12 months, right? Last 18 months, right? You get into the stock market like this, you actually think this is how it's always going to be. It's always blue skies. And I could tell that's kind of the thought process. And unfortunately, I had to bring them down to the reality of things that, I mean, if in all honesty, you could have had the IQ of a cucumber and gotten to the market over the last 18 months and you would have done well. You didn't need much, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Right? There's gonna come a time, it's not gonna stay like this. Right? There's seed time, there's harvest time, there's great times, there's mountain times, there's valley times. And it's the people who know how to manage both who do well. So but yeah, if you manage your responsibilities and your resources properly over time, and it takes consistency, and it's over time. It's not an overnight thing, right? At some point, who gets elected, what law changes. I mean, don't get me wrong, a tax law change, right? You may have to change your strategy a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Unless tyranny comes about. So that's the time when you might have to do something drastic. But get to a place where surplus is so that you're living off of so little of your resources that not much shakes you.
So living below your means is an important part
That's
of that.
how it starts out. That's how it starts out, right? But if you do it right, if you think about Jamal King, right? Guy you've mentioned numerous times in reference to real estate and stuff like that, right? 9 to 5 millionaire. At some point, you're not even living off of income. You're living off of resources. You're living off of like the car you want. You have a property that pays for that. If that makes sense, right? So like you have an asset paying for everything. So income that you make, you don't really use.
Right.
Yeah.
So having assets.
I know it sounds weird probably to some people, but it's a real thing.
You'll have assets to pay for liabilities instead of paying for liabilities.
Yeah.
out of your income, right? Invest your income in.
Yes, but back to Jamal King. Why is this stuff called the 9 to 5 millionaire? Because you got to do all of this stuff. You got to start out on your job. You start off with the income you have coming in. The most powerful wealth building tool you have is your income in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time you build assets and stuff they're doing other things for you and stuff like that. Right? I had somebody tell me today, right? He started a clothing line, and I've been rooting on the whole way. And he had his first show recently, right? And I was, of course, I'm proud of him. I've been rooting him on. I've kind of been pushing him. Hey, you got to do this. You got talking to him about mentorship and making sure. Not me. I'm not in that world, but he needs mentorship, right? And he has friends that's already started their own clothing lines, got their own studios already, have had numerous shows. So I was like, hey, make sure you're in their ear, right? Because some people want to try to do stuff on their own. Nothing beats a mentor, right? So,
yeah.
Right, and even if you got to pay for that mentor, like use it, like so. Yeah. One of the things I was talking to him about, like, no, you're not ready to leave your 9 to 5, right? Let's build this on the side. Yeah, lose a little sleep for now, right? And just grind this thing out, get your vision going. Actually, it's a lot. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of a lot funner when you do that numerous. I know you probably don't want to hear this, right? but it's
For a season.
For a season, right? But I know people who have jobs don't like to hear me say this out loud, but sometimes it's like a little bit funner while you're like, you grinding over here and then you got to leave that and go over here and you're tired all the time. Like, right? It is just, I don't know. It seems, it feels like you did something. It feels like you earned your sleep. Like when you earned your sleep.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then the bad thing is when the person does go full time in whatever endeavor they're in, they don't put that same level of energy now that you're full time in your endeavor. Right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing that's scary, right? One of the biggest curses to an employee is them being their own boss, because a lot of them will give themselves way too much time off. And I've been there before, so I know what I'm talking about here.
See, I don't know if I'm wired that way, John, because like
I don't think you are.
I enjoy
a certain brand of people. It's a certain just drive of people. Up until now, you've really liked what you were doing anyway, right? So the grind didn't matter. It didn't feel like it was a job anyway. Right, but it's some people who hate their job.
Yeah.
Right, and they might love their outside grind, but they've never had to do it 18 hours a day. Right, you don't know if you love something until you have to do it for 18 hours straight, day in and day out, month in and month out. Right, sometimes to get a business off the ground, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think about my business. Come on, I'm in an office, air conditioned, well heated, lit, carpet, blah blah blah. This is not a grind. I concern myself with people who have a food truck or a restaurant, and they never leave the restaurant. Like they leave the restaurant to go make deposits or go pick up more food, or like they literally close the restaurant and then they stay there, or back there in the next 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
I respect anybody who'll take the risk and step out there, and because over time they're going to create opportunity for other people.
Absolutely.
I just respect people who would take some risk, not be scared, not wait for somebody else to give them something, an opportunity, a job. I just respect that.
Yeah, like create one, like create, design the life that you want, and I mean, even to think of the what do you call it? Like the just the work ethic, right? Like I'm just not one of those people who just Yeah, like just to sit at home and watch TV or collect the check every month. I'm just not wired that way. And there's certain. I was talking to a friend of mine recently. Like there's a certain sense of pride in like producing something, contributing to society in a way. And so there's definitely something to be said about like having resources, but then your resources or putting yourself in a position so that your resources, right? You said your surplus can then help and benefit other people.
Yeah.
Versus, waiting on resources to be given to you or expecting resources from someone else or from something else. Like I wouldn't raise that way. And so the responsibility of just having a work ethic. And I think that's something, we can probably talk about this in a few weeks in terms of values, right? Like valuing hard work, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be backbreaking work, but like something that I've definitely, like the more and more that I move toward the goals that I'm like, I'm realizing my gift, right? Like in what I'm doing. And I'm like your gift makes room for you. And I'm like embracing like this, who I am, right? And who I was created to be. Like you were created to do exactly this. Like you're great at it. And like I see it, like how my mind kind of works and how I'm able to put things together. And it's not difficult. And I enjoy doing it. And there's evidence, not just from my perspective, but from other people that I work with, that like I'm what's the word? I'm skilled at putting the right people in the right places to get things done.
You
like I like getting things done.
You are.
And so managing resources, people, materials, things, like who do I need? Who's the person, right, that's going to be most effective in getting this done?
Well, that's why you're called the conductor.
Yes.
But you're not just the conductor in finances.
No,
right? You're the conductor in like people and projects and
family.
Right? Yeah. Like you're really good at that.
The coordinating conductor.
Yeah, and you used to call me something. Apparently, it was some book you read, and you said I was like the guy who connect people, and I don't know what that meant. I still never read that book. But you're
Outliers.
But I know. No, I read Outliers.
Okay.
But I know you're good at conducting. You're good at putting things in place, putting people in place, and strategizing in that sense. And I know you're good at that. And,
Thank you.
So that's managing resources, right? Even if it's people. Now, some people don't like to be seen as a resource, but the facts are we all are resources. Whatever gift God didn't give us, he placed in somebody near us.
Yep.
And love is the secret key to that treasure. And if we can keep that in mind, right? And here's another big one. So many people want credit. And I'm not talking about credit. I'm talking about they want accolades. They want
recognition.
Don't get me wrong. Recognition is beautiful. I like getting recognition too. I love hearing my wife tell me, I love hearing my friends tell me certain things. Certain people I don't take it seriously because, just be honest, it's just certain people. Sometimes people just fluff you up, right? But certain friends, when I say something good, I know they meant that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I earned that, right? Right. So even in that, of course, everybody wants that, but sometimes Ronald Reagan, some of you guys might remember who that was, right? He's since passed away. But he had a quote years ago, and it never left me. I was when I first heard it, I was serving in the military. And his quote was, "There's no measure of what we can accomplish if no one cares who gets credit."
That's good.
Let's just go accomplish a bunch. Let's go impact the world for good, right? And let's not care who gets credit for it. The world is better. Isn't that enough? Right? My children get to inherit a better world. Isn't that enough? That's enough credit. I don't need no more credit.
Right.
But I know some people always want their name on it. They want, I did it. I have some friends like that. They love to tell me, well, I taught them that. And I did. Right? And there's some people who are applying it better than them, but they want to tell me how they taught somebody. Like, I don't know if you taught them at all. You're not doing it. They are.
I definitely do not take credit for my daughters being readers. That was not me. That was
Okay.
definitely Wanda Bay.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I wasn't the parent that like read to them every night.
Yeah, but
And
you managed the resource that you had
yes,
on the bet.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna
See,
give you credit because you
I
managed the resource.
my gift though was like knowing that that was not my gift. Like she's so much better at this, and I know she'll be tough on them. But my daughter went from kindergarten. She homeschooled for her first grade year, and she went from reading on the kindergarten level to reading on the third, fourth grade level when she entered second grade this year.
Mm.
And I mentioned earlier that the 3-year-old's reading sight word books. She like takes her book with her and will read to anybody on demand or
Wow.
without them prompting. She pulls her book out
Wow.
and asks for it by name at the market.
Wow.
So like it's and I so if my mother watches this, like shout out to Wanda Bay Empower Academy. You need just like a whole reading school. Just start a reading school.
I love the name of the academy.
Yes, Empower Academy. But like literally, my 3-year-old is empowered to read. She's excited about it. And like I said, my 7-year-old, she wasn't really thrilled about reading. She like memorizing. She was good at sight words,
Okay.
just recognizing, but like decoding, as my mother says, because I don't even know this teacher stuff, right? Decoding and being able to break words down and root
No,
words and
that's
all.
real.
She is phenomenal at like getting children to get through that. And
Yeah.
so I have evidence of it. It works.
Yeah. Well,
And
there's a difference between teaching and indoctrinating.
mm,
And your mom teaches.
yeah.
It's
And
almost like sales. She got your daughter believing it was her idea to read. Isn't that cool? She empowered her. Yeah, it's
yeah.
really cool. So,
But I think I love what you said earlier about how what gifts we don't have, God placing people near us. And I think about that all the time with my family. Like I'm like I'm like the gift coordinator. Like, all right, mother's good at this, my sister's good at that, my brother's good. Let's just do these things, and so whenever we go on trips, I'm the travel plans, right? Get the flights booked, hotels, lodging, travel, transportation, can handle all of that. But it's important, right? I think sometimes we get caught up in we have to do everything. And you mentioned it earlier, or feeling like, you got to do it on your own. Nope. You need to recognize the resources around you, whether those
yep.
resources, people or information, right, is a great resource. And so let's touch on this, some of the resources that people can use in order to improve their responsibility. I know a book that you reference often, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So share with our audience some resources that'll be helpful to improving their consciousness about wealth.
That's a good one. Matter of fact, the book you just mentioned, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Hold on. Certain books I keep on my desk, near my desk, because they're not books, they're manuals to me. Right, so Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. By T. Harv Eker. Incredible book. Helped me understand my mindset, why I thought the way I thought about money. Helped me figure out my financial blueprint and reprogram myself. Some people would say Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but so it's a goddess. So many different books. This book right here, if you reach out to me, I can get this one to you for free. Right? How Money Works. Don't Be a Sucker. Right? By one of our good friends, Steve Sabo and Tom Matthews down there in Atlanta. Right? This book here, right?
That's a good one.
Today. Money Master the Game, Tony Robbins. He has another one called Unshakable. The Automatic Millionaire, David Bach's book. There's so many that I could just keep going. My goodness. Tax-free retirement. So many of them. I can keep going, but you got to dive in. You got to be willing to invest in yourself. And some people will say, "How much?" Well, how much are you worth? And I'm not talking about your net worth. How much are you worth? right? I remember somebody asked me what something I paid for, was it worth it? And I told them I'm worth it,
Absolutely.
right? Because when the value is right, the cost doesn't matter, right? Sometimes we really wealthy people we don't think about the cost. We think about the value. We don't mind paying. Just tell us what we're getting. And when it comes to reading a book that may change us, like I was joking with my mom. My mom's a reader. She's a reader. Period. I mean, oh my gosh, this lady likes to play Scrabble for fun. Like, it's any word game, especially when you got to spell something and come up with the meaning of it. That's my mom, right? So I didn't get this part from her. Okay, she's incredible in this sense, right? But she reads for entertainment, right? And she finished a couple of books while she was with us in that week, and telling us about them, and right. And one of my friends was over. I was like, I don't read for entertainment. I read to change. I read to grow, man. Right? I'm much rather watch a television show, right? But I love who I become from the reading, so I continue to do it. So you gotta invest the time, energy, and resources into yourself, right? Because it's you that makes the wealth. It's you that makes the money. God said in Deuteronomy, I gave you the power to make wealth so that he can establish his covenant with you. So invest in yourself, spend some time into this. I promise you it's not as hard as even us. Sometimes we make it out to be.
Yeah, it definitely is worth it. And that's something that probably almost 3 years ago, like it came to me that I had to be more intentional about investing in myself. Like I was doing it on an ongoing basis, through different things that were offered to me, but making the decision myself to like, what are you doing outside of what's being offered or given to you? And that's when I actually took a trip to Phoenix to attend the 1% conference with Eric Thomas. And that was like a game changer because it's just like, I missed this, right? Because there was a time when like I was like really heavy into personal development. I was reading everything and listening to everything by Jim Rohn and, like constantly up, and then life happens and you get busy and children and all this stuff. And I realized like I thrive when I'm in an environment where I'm constantly learning and growing. And so like over the past almost 2 years now, I've had the opportunity to just continue to grow and learn and get better and do things I haven't done before. And I actually was on a mastermind call on Sunday with my brother-in-law, and another member of our group. And I shared with my brother-in-law that I literally created a website in 6 hours on Sunday. And that was a skill that probably 2 years ago, I was like, I don't have a clue, right? But he had like just planted the seed, and he was just like, well, listen, just go to the site and just get your domain and, just own your name, right? Like just get your name. So I've been paying for my name domain, for over the last year. And you had an opportunity recently to create a website. And like literally I woke up at like 1:00 or something on Sunday morning. And like 7 hours later, here's a website. And I had to tweak it a little bit. My brother had designed the logo for me. And I'm like, yo, I could like, I'm just like, not amazed, right? Like, I was not like amazed, but he was like, isn't that empowering just to know that you can do those things?
Yes.
Right? But like, it's like, it's a tool in the tool belt, right? Like I have all these tools that I can use, right? If I got to help somebody with an insurance plan, I can do that. If I need to help somebody with a debt reduction strategy, I can do that. I can help somebody with a budget, I can do that. If I need to create a website, I can do that, right? Like and this is something that I learned from Jim Rohn, and he said this about children. He's like, children don't lack curiosity. They don't lack ability. They just lack a teacher. And so oftentimes if we're, we get older and we don't think we need to learn anymore, but like we have information at our fingertips. And so our investment in learning has to come from within, right? Like I don't have a teacher. I don't go to a classroom. I'm not in a college class or taking a course per se to learn from someone else. Like you can invest in yourself, the time, energy, and resources, like you said, to invest in your own development. And something Jerome also said is that in the 21st century, you have to have more than one skill. Like we're in an economy where you have to have more than one skill because your skill may become obsolete or your job may, okay. No.
So true. Yeah. So true. My goodness. Now you got me sitting here thinking, how many skills do I have?
You need a website. I got you, right? To tell me what I'll even do the writing for it, right? I'll make you look good.
Wow. That's really good. That's really good stuff.
Something that I've learned about myself as well is that and this is through personal development, recognizing that I work better. Bless you.
Thank you.
I work better when I'm alone. Like I maximize my potential when I'm working. Again.
Excuse me. Thank you.
I work better, or I can maximize my potential when I'm actually working alone. So I found that the quietest time of the day is when everybody's asleep.
Oh my God. I think it's my allergies.
Oh.
It happens.
Oh, good.
Man, in the middle of the night, that's crazy though. I can't. Nah, I ain't. Yeah, when I'm alone, I think I do. Yeah. I don't know. I think I do my best thinking when I'm in the gym.
Yeah, mine is definitely when there's not distractions. Because during the day I'm answering phone calls or emails or
distract me in the gym anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes people want to talk to you in the gym, especially if they know you and they ain't seen you in a while. But it's been a good talk. I like where this went.
Yeah, even though I got it all, I screwed it up. Initially, we were going to do P again. We were going to go backwards in the alphabet.
You know the cool thing about this talk, it's yours. You can do it the way you want to. Whatever. Who cares? It's yours. Whatever. I like it.
Well, the crazy thing is, I wrote up a whole nother description for P again, so we could have gone into P again on some different P's.
And you know what? Most people probably wouldn't even notice.
You gotta watch your sister.
All good.
No, but this was good, and hopefully other people get value out of this who watch it, who've been with us now and into the future. But really, we try to make the stuff as simple as possible. It's really all about how you see it.
Yeah.
All the letters leading up to this is really how you see it. It's not really about us. It's about how you see it. It's about how you see life. How your life turns out really depends on how you see it. Because what you see is how, almost to a sense, how you move. And I think it's important that we always are having our perspectives checked.
No, for sure.
At least that's been a blessing to me. So.
Absolutely. And understanding that when you do well with what you have, you can actually do more, right? You'll learn to do more. Because you're even I was sharing, right? You don't know what your capacity is until you stretch yourself, right? Until you challenge yourself.
You do it. Yeah.
So we could tell ourselves that I'm too tired and I'm too this and I'm too that. But have you stretched the limit, right? Have you gotten up a little early? Have you stayed up a little later? But found something that you can be passionate about, something that you, I initially had this as purpose, right? Like when you have a clear purpose of why you're doing what you're doing, there is no limitation, right? There is nothing.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Changes everything, really. Yeah.
For sure. Well, hey, listen. Of course, as always, if you want some assistance with, right, John is not just a financial strategist. He's a life and financial strategist. He'll give you some things to think about, right? Challenge you with some questions. And so I know our topic is on wealth, but if you listen to any of the shows that we've done in the past, right, wealth has so much more to do with your mindset than it has to do with your money. And you can have a complimentary consultation with John. Just get on his Calendly, book an appointment, spend some time with them. I know when I had the opportunity to do that 13 years ago now,
it has been 13.
Changed everything. So I would like to think that the good that you did for me and the good that I'm now able to do for others is gonna, right, that's gonna add to your mom's rewards.
I like that.
And so hopefully this conversation has been rewarding for those that have an opportunity to listen or who will listen to this in the future. And you can definitely reach out to us and get some insight, get some help, and help get around people who will help you move forward. All right. The relationships that you have do make a difference. And when you're around people who are responsible with their resources, you do learn to be better responsible yourself. At least I do.
No, that's true. For sure.
So, any final
words? Yeah, great talk tonight. Thank you everyone for listening in and watching even in the future. And we'll see you next week.
That's right. And I'm gonna say it now. Our S. The next letter is S. So right, I'm gonna go ahead and create the thing tonight so I don't mess that up.
All right.
Y'all
so ABCs of Wealth. Next week we'll be covering S.
S.
All right. So tune in so you can see what the S will be all about.
Y'all have a great night.
Take care.